What's up and what is good? The Sole Reason, episode 2. Welcome. Man, we made it all the way to episode 2. That's half the battle, right? Is repeating yourself. It's like the first drive, it's like you get ready to do this big thing of just like, I'm doing this. And then you do the first one, you go, holy crap, that was a lot of work. But here we are, episode 2. What's up? My name is Josh. Welcome to The Sole Reason, a show where we just talk about, yes, is this a sneaker show, podcast, whatever you want to call it? I think so. We will talk a lot about shoes, but I think as this thing grows and morphs, and if I stay consistent with it, I think you'll be entertained by sneaker talk or just my life and the weirdness that comes with my life. It's a good life. I can't complain, but nonetheless, I am new to all this. I am new to setting up a microphone, a camera, lights. I had my brother Chris and Dylan helped me out. Just like, hey, dude, you can't see your face in half the things. And I was just like, well, I think that's a good thing, but for the sake of a video, it's probably not a good thing. So we got a few extra lights, but yeah, man, we're gonna kick it off. Every other Wednesday is when a new episode will drop. That's the goal, is to keep that. But someone asked you, why Wednesday? Because every Wednesday is Woo Wednesday. Oh, make sure I hit the right one. Every Wednesday is Woo Wednesday. So, yeah, what is this? What is this show about? It's about things that I like, all the way from obviously sneakers, clothes, wrestling, all like 90s things, old Nickelodeon, which, by the way, Doug is the best cartoon that's ever been written. Not a hot take, but maybe you would disagree, but here's me disagreeing with you. Hot take. Doug from Nickelodeon. Now let me just, before we get into anything, you need to know that I'm referring to the Doug from Nickelodeon, not when Disney bought it and made it super weird. I'm talking about Doug from Nickelodeon with Mr. Dink, the next door neighbor who did all the weird inventions but ended up breaking every episode. Roger, who has the church worship leader haircut now, which I think is hilarious. But like, if you look back at the old Doug cartoons, which I think they're on Disney Plus or Hulu or something, you need to find them. But when you look at Roger, who's like the villain in all the cartoons, his hair, the front of his hair looks like a piece of bacon. Look it up. And then his Doug's like the girl he's in love with, Patty Mayonnaise, and then Skeeter, the weird guy who was like blue, but no one else thought it was weird. I don't know. It's just the best show ever. So I don't know how I got on that. Cartoons. Oh, yeah, things I'm into. Yeah, 90s stuff. We're going to talk a lot about energy drinks. We're going to talk a lot about sneakers. All what is happening in the world and in my life. That's what we're going to talk about. And there's no we. It's I. It's just me. It's just me here. I'm in front of the camera. I set it up behind the camera. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm glad you're along for the ride. So that's what The Sole Reason is all about, is things that I love in hopes that you would love the same things or learn to love or understand why I love these things. So we kick off every episode, and by I mean that this is number 2. Well, we kick off every episode with caffeine, and you need it, and it's an energy drink, and you need it as well, and so do I. So let's kick it off. It's the sip of the day. And today's sip of the day is brought to you by my brother Jacob. He gifted this to me over Christmas, and I was like, we can't just sip this this is a privilege to have this flavor in my hand. And it is the Ray's Energy Ginger Ale, which I'm just a huge fan of Ray's in general. So, you know what we do? We grade the branding and the flavor 1 out of 5, because I think 1 in 10 just gets lost, and you just end up everything's just rated a 7 if it's okay. You can't do 10 because nothing's perfect. And then, yeah. Anyways, 1 out of 5. So let's hear it. Now that is a good crack. Not a lot of energy drinks or cans have that good like punch right out of the gate. So it's got good pops right out of the gate. I've said right out of the gate twice, and I'm not going to edit it out because I don't care. This is just good. It's a classic flavor, ginger ale. Anyone else's mom just get ginger ale everywhere they go? Like, I didn't know ginger ale still was made until we start going out to eat with my mom. Like, as an adult, you realize it's like, why ginger ale? I don't understand. I don't know. That's just my mom. Maybe not your mom, but my mom orders ginger ale literally every place we go. So this is amazing. The fact that it just tastes like a classic ginger ale taste, but has 200 milligrams of caffeine. Yep, 200 millibops on this bad boy. So the thing about Rays is they always try to include like, I don't know, branding when it comes to whatever flavor it is. Like they overdo it, which I like over branded stuff. And so I'm a huge fan of the branding. The taste is just a classic ginger ale taste. And I don't know if this is a hot take, but this is a hot take for me. Ginger ale is better than Sprite. I don't even know if that's an opinion. I believe that that's fact. That the flavor of ginger ale is more appealing to the palate than Sprite is. Sprite is just, and maybe it's associated with some weird like middle and elementary school trauma, but I just don't like Sprite. And don't ask me about all that stuff because I don't really, I don't know. But ginger ale is better. It's just plain and simple. So the Rays ginger ale flavor, I think the branding is just out of the park. I would do 4 out of 5 on the branding. But the taste, I think, and this isn't bad. I like it a lot. So I'm going to go for the taste on just a solid, smooth 3.5. 3.5. And that's good, guys, because, like, again, nothing's a 5 because nothing's perfect. But 3.5 on the flavor, but the branding is just, they just nail it. They just nail the branding. I think I said 4 for branding. So that is the Rays ginger ale. Go pick up one of these. The thing about Rays is they're hard to find, and if you do find it, it's a limited edition flavor. So good luck trying to find this flavor. Shout out to Jacob, my brother. Thank you for blessing me with this. So, man, how was your week? How was your weekend? How has your month of January been? Mine has been pretty awesome. Again, Christmas season is over. Praise God, kind of, because it's great. You look forward to it, but when you're in the midst of it and you realize that rest isn't involved in your Christmas season, then it's just like your joy of Christmas season is literally just cut in half. But mine was good. But getting back and acclimated to rhythms and stuff like that, it's been awesome. We hit some garage sales, flea markets like we talked about in the last episode, but some good garage sales. Me and my daughter, we go out almost every Saturday morning, give mom some time to just hang out and do whatever she wants to do, sleep in till noon, which that is definitely a potential to happen, or do whatever. And so we have a daddy-daughter date every Saturday morning. But we roll up to this one garage sale, and it was one of those things where it was, how do I say this? We roll up to it, and when there is stuff in the lawn, but it says come inside, you know that what you're about to experience is a museum of things that haven't seen sunlight in quite some time. So let me explain. Usually, a normal garage sale, You open up the garage if you have one, or you just put stuff in the driveway. There are signs. You just put stuff in the driveway, right? And that's kind of normal when it comes to a garage sale or yard sale, hence the name yard. But what I realized is when people say come inside, that means they have so much stuff that their whole house is for sale, basically. Got everything, right? And so I see what appears to be enough rocking chairs for a whole army in the front yard. And the house isn't that big. So I don't understand if they just bought out a rocking chair store and they're just selling them for friends. I don't really understand it. But we walk past all this. We go inside. And this isn't like a super old neighborhood. But it was old enough to where it goes, I think someone died in here of old age. It had the smell of like your typical like senior citizen smell. I said typical, not everyone. I don't want to generalize, but it kind of like formaldehyde-ish, like bug spray-ish. You know what I'm saying? It's like, do you guys just share the same perfume/cologne? Anywho, I don't hate it, but it reminds me of old people, you know? So I walk in, we're walking around, I'm looking for just cool stuff, and there's a sweet VCR. And I was like, oh, sweet. I really want a VCR from all the old, like, skateboard movies and all the old cassettes that my parents still have. And so I was like, how much is this VCR? She goes, I think it's $5. I go, does it work? She goes, yeah, it works. So we turn it on. The lights flash. It wasn't hooked up to a TV. I was like, well, if the lights turn on and this sucker's at least 10 years older than I am, I'll get it. What's $5, right? So I buy it. She throws in a cassette of this cassette, Dazzling Dunks and Basketball Bloopers. And it's got like Michael Jordan on the back. I don't know why I said Michael Jordan. It's just reverence. He's a king, right? So she throws that in, and so I'm like, oh, sweet. I need to hook this up. I hook it up to the TV. I am plugging in. It's like component video, so it's got like the red, the yellow, and the white, right? Do you guys know what I'm for all the old heads in here, which is weird because I don't think I'm old, but you guys know what I'm talking about. It's not an HDMI. They didn't have that. It was like all these, and you had to match them up to the back of the TV. So that's what this was. And so I'm like messing with it. My wife's asleep. I'm messing with it in the same room, like over here. I plug it all up, and it's not coming up on the TV. And I was like, that's weird. It's not getting a signal. So I'm tinkering with things like I actually know what I'm doing. But I'm like, if you unplug and plug it back in and wiggle things around and I don't know, take stuff out, with like that changes anything. Maybe it'll work. And it's like midnight and I'm messing with it. All of a sudden, I hit play. The cassette's already in there. By the way, that was just a box because the cassette is in the actual VCR. It just makes this psst, psst, and smoke starts shooting out the back. And I go, oh, Lord, this isn't good. So I immediately unplug everything. I look behind me to see if my wife's still sleeping. She is. And I'm like, I turn on the fan, kind of get the smoke. The weird, like, I don't even know how to describe it, smell. Anywho, smell chemically smoke, not fire smoke, but like chemical smoke. So I unplug it and I go, well, can't plug this back in anything because I don't want to burn down the place where I lay my head at night. So that VCR still has that tape in it, and I'm just going to count my losses and try to find it again or find another VCR. So we're going to these places. We went to an old mall, which, do you guys go to malls? Are malls a thing? I don't think they are. I think outside malls are a thing, like town center-ish outlets type malls. Those kind of exist. But here in Myrtle Beach, there's more dead malls than there are malls that are thriving or even open in that case. So we go to this old mall. Well, this old mall has like a comic shop / arcade in it, and it's freaking awesome. So me and my daughter go here. We meet up with some friends, and we're walking around. They have tons of like Funko Pops, comics, vintage video games, an old, like everything that's old. So stuff that I grew up with. So I'm looking at Nintendo 64 games. we're walking around anyways. They have the whole side, which I think I took some videos and pictures of it, but it's like a pinball museum. It's like, well, so when I say arcade, I don't mean like Dave and Buster's. I mean like arcade games that are teleported from the 90s and 80s to this one place, and it is amazing. And they only charge $1 to play any game. And so like $3 or $4, you can be in there for like an hour and a half if you're good at pinball. Or they have Need for Speed. Do you remember those? Do you remember Time Crisis? The best, I think this is the best arcade game of all time. When you had the foot pedal that you step on and you pop out on the screen, it's like the stand up. That to me and my dad and my brothers would play that game at Chuck E. Cheese. We would just, when you set the quarter up. So like if you die, you just throw it in real quick, even though if someone's waiting, it's like, dude, I got it. Like it says continue, I'm going to continue. Which brings me to like this topic, arcades. Did you go to arcades growing up? Do you go to arcades now? Which, hot take, I just don't think Dave and Buster's is a real arcade. Like there's these big places, right? They have arcade games there, but it just doesn't feel like an arcade. Do you remember in the 90s, if you were alive back then, and even early 2000s, there was these places that they were arcades. They were they barely served food. If so, it was like an old pretzel from last week that you could buy, or some like horrible pizza. Like there was Chuck E. Cheese, Charles Edward Cheese, come to find out. That's what the E stands for. And then there was DZ. Do you guys remember DZ? DZ Discovery Zone. From the age of probably 4 or 5 all the way to like 12, had every birthday party there. It was awesome. So they had these, like the ball pits, the pyramids with the rope that you could climb under, which in those places, Chuck E. Cheese has some of those places too. They just got overturned by like trampoline parks. Now it's kind of like that. But the goal was in these weird tunnel places like Chuck E. Cheese or DZ, the goal was for you and your friends, how do you get underneath the ball pit? How do you get behind the net that you're not supposed to go to? Like, how do we get back there? Because obviously someone doesn't. My mindset was, there's a fence there. Someone doesn't want us to get back there because it's more awesomer than out here. And that's right, I said awesomer. And what I realized is that's 100% true. It's like all the change, the random watches, other weird things from the ball pit would like fall through the net behind the netting that you weren't supposed to go to. Yeah, I don't know. It was awesome. So DZ, but there was another arcade, Aladdin's Castle. Do you remember Aladdin's Castle? It was all like Arabian Nights, hence Aladdin type vibe. I think I even have like the tokens. So they got their own tokens like imprinted with the logo on it. But Aladdin's Castle, DZ, like Chuck E. Cheese, these types of places, getting the tickets was the best. Now all you have is a card and you're like, go see your tickets at the thing where you get ripped off. These you had tickets. And they had ticket counters. Remember these? Where you stick them in and go, and they just kind of read and count the number. There was just some thrill of like gathering tickets. You had the kids with the big bags of them. It was amazing. And then you get ripped off. You're like, how did I spend $45 to get a Chinese finger trap? Like the ones that, you can't pull apart, which you can, and they just break within 5 minutes. Or the slappy hand. Those were actually awesome, especially when you would bring it to school the next day or like Monday and you're like, people have papers on their desk and you go, shoo, it grabs it. I don't know. I don't even know if they still make those. Anywho, that's what we did this weekend. We went just hanging out, garage sales, went to that R&R collectible thing spot, brought in some things to trade. And guys, the background looks pretty sick, right? Like we picked up some awesome things. This Goldberg piece right over here is probably the coolest thing that I have ever owned as a child or as a grown behind man. It's like a WCW plaque. It's like numbered on the back, authenticated, which who makes fakes of these? Like, there's a fake wrestling, like, I don't know, figurine portraits business just popping off that they had to number it and authenticate it. But nonetheless, that thing is sick. So is this old Disney, that Disney phone. I think if I look at it weird, it'll fall apart. It's so old, but that thing is sick. And then, yeah, I think we added a couple other things, which if you want to know what we picked up, you need to check out the playlist in our segment on YouTube of what did we find or what did we get. I can't remember what it's called, but it's up there. So check that out. You'll see my special guest on there too. But we, on Instagram, we asked you guys, why do I keep saying we? Like, it's like I don't want to be embarrassed that it's just me doing this when in all reality it is. There is no we. It's just me. So I asked you guys on Instagram, and I'm always curious, like, what got people into collecting sneakers or, like, interested in shoes? Because some people actually don't care. Like, the people that will go to Costco and just, like, whatever Costco sneaker is on sale for $29.99, that's what I'm picking up. And there's no shame in that. They're like the Payless models, where you see a Nike and it's like, this kind of looks like a Nike model that I know, but it's got a weird name and I've never seen it before, and the quality's way different. It's kind of like, if you're those people, more respect. More respect. Your closet probably has so much room, and I envy that. But for those of you that love sneakers and love shoes and just like the culture around it, there was always a gateway sneaker. There was always that one sneaker that goes, all right, I'm in. Whatever, this sneaker just got me in. So I asked you guys that, and man, are the spectrum of sneakers that were sent in are just north and south pole. There is no middle ground. Now, there's some young guys out there that throw in some more newer sneaker models, which I love that. But there's some old heads in here. But mine, if you were to ask me, what is my gateway sneaker? There's two sneakers that I just are imprinted in my mind. Was the Up-Tempo, which right up there. And there's a kid's pair that I found at Goodwill. Can you believe that? It's brand new. So, which can I just, I'm going to talk about this box right here. I talk about how my dad used to wear these, and all three of my brothers, I don't have three, I have two. Me and my two brothers, which equals three, got a pair. So we all matched. We had black and white Up-Tempos, which I think was so cool. I was at my parents' house over Christmas break, and I'm looking through their garage because it's like a hoarder's memory box there. It's just crazy. It's like kind of organized, but chaos at the same time. But weirdly enough, my mom and dad know exactly where everything is. Like, I'm looking for a flathead screwdriver. It's like, it's in that box in the bottom shelf on the left and right beside the turtle wax. You're just like, this is organized chaos. That's what it is. But I'm looking in there just for old stuff that I had when I was a kid. And I look up on the shelf and I go, no way. What is that old Nike box? Because that's the 90s, right? The cardboard color with the red top and the black bottom. And I look, and sure enough, it is the sneaker box of my Up-Tempo when I was a kid. So they even named it weird. It's Air Much More, because they always kind of change the name of the 90s kids shoes from like the smaller model, which I think is awesome. But it's a size 1.5Y. So I asked my parents, like, please let me take this. So that thing is cool. But my favorite sneaker of all time, but because of my dad and they got me and my brothers all a pair, is the Up-Tempo. And then my cousin Crystal was big into sneakers. I don't know if she is anymore, but she was an OG sneakerhead. Like in the 90s, she had like the coolest shoes. And she gave me a pair of her old shoes when my foot got big enough, but they were the Barclays. Do you remember these? They're retroed now, obviously, but they were white and purple, I think. something like that. I wore the heck out of those shoes. So much so that the air bubble, like when you wear the rubber on the bottom, it gets so worn out that it's just the air bubble and the floor that you're stepping on. Those shoes were amazing, and I just beat the mess out of those. So those two and like the Presto Changos that my dad had, those three sneakers are probably my gateway sneaker of this is why I love sneakers and sneaker culture. And then the athletes that supported. So you had Scottie Pippen with the up tempo, you had Barkley with his retro shoe, and then I don't know who made Prestos famous. My dad. But shout out to the man with the sneaker talk. But interesting sneakers that were your gateway sneakers. So here's a couple of them. This one I can relate to was the Shaqs. Do you remember the Shaqs? Now, hold on a sec. I'm not talking about the Reebok Shaqs. I mean the Shaqs from Walmart. Like the ones where you're just like, I can't even afford the Reebok. Let me get the Shaqs from Walmart. Maybe no one will notice. And guess what? When you wore them to school, I had this happen to me once, and I was like, never again. Kids notice. You're like, that's not the Jump Man. It's like, yeah, that's the Dunk Man. And you're just like, nope. Like they were just, like, those are some Bobo shoes, which is something that people say. They don't say it anymore, but in the 90s when you had like some fake sneakers, not even fake sneakers, they just weren't the cool sneakers. They just call them Bobo shoes. When we would go shoe shopping at Payless, it's just like, how can I get away with a sneaker that kind of looks like it but isn't a copycat? And then just every time, but you got some Bobo shoes, and you're just like, yeah, these are Bobo. It's like, you suckers don't even have jobs anyways. Your parents bought your shoes. Anyway, the Shaq Walmarts were awesome, but also the Shaq, the Reebok Shaqs. There's a couple models, but what was the one where it hypnotized or something? But it was like black, and then it spaced out, and it was white, and then black again, and white. Those are sweet. I need to buy a pair of those. Those need to be in the collection, which I think I don't have any Reeboks in my collection, which is sad, but I did. Brain Dead has some awesome Reebok collabs that I really, really like. So, someone said Nike Prestos and Free Runs. This is the OG right here. This is the OG sneaker guy in my family. Nike Prestos. I think, hot take, I think Nike Prestos are better and more comfortable than Ultra Boost. I know what you're thinking, but Josh, Ultra Boost are the best. They have the boost technology. I'm not saying they're not comfortable, but they're not better than Nike Prestos. And no way. No, you could go side by side, put them one on each foot, go to a theme park, and you tell me which knee hurts worse or foot worse, and then I do that test, send it to me, let me know if you're a theme park person, or wear them all day. One Ultra Boost on one foot, one Nike Presto on the other, and you tell me what is more comfortable, and I will put my money on the Nike Presto, which Nike Prestos look way better anyways. My favorite Nike Presto, the Safaris one's cool, but my favorite Nike Presto is the Lightning Bolts. It's like gray on the bottom, but it's got like dark navy blue, but it has white lightning bolts that like right on the top of the knit top. I'll show it up there. That's probably my favorite Nike Presto. The Hello Kitties are amazing, probably because I get to match my daughter because she has a small pair, but I think the Lightning Presto is my favorite Presto. And then Nike Free Runs, which you can't go wrong with Nike Free Runs. I had the Nike Free Run OG when they first came out. They were black and gray, and they had the Velcro strap over like the arch of the foot, like in the top where your toes get down, like midway, the bridge of your foot, I guess. The top had the little Velcro, and the Velcro got dirty, and then when you run, it would just like flap. I don't like the hand signal I just did, but it would flap everywhere. It would just be awful. But that sneaker was super comfortable. Next, we have Bread 11s. Bread 11s got you into the sneaker game. That's a great shoe. But the 11s for me I think they run small, but it's the patent leather on the toe that it's either make or break. My favorite 11 is the bread is awesome, but the Concord 11, that shoe, stop making crappier versions of a sneaker and calling it Concord, which we'll get to in a little bit. The Concord 11. Just leave it. Can we just sneakers trying to reinvent the wheel? Can we just make a new shoe? Don't get a Jordan 1 and throw the color wheel at it in a bunch of different materials and make it like some crazy hype thing. Can we just make another shoe? Make a different shoe. The Jordan, I don't want to jump ahead. Bread 11 is great. Jordan 1 Mochas. Now, this is a recent shoe. I actually had this pair, and I traded this and a couple other ones for the Grail sneaker, which is the Air Max, the Wotherspoon Air Max. Okay, so tell me if this is fair, and you let me know. This is about 2 years ago. Okay, so look at the market 2 years ago. I traded Jordan 1 Mochas, Yeezy Wave Runners, and they were okay, so they were cooked. Jordan 1 bread toes. Cooked bread toes, okay? For the Wotherspoons, with every patch, with the inserts, with the extra laces, with the box, like everything. So looking back, I don't know if that was a fair trade, but I got a shoe that's more important to me than all those three that I just mentioned. So, but the Jordan 1 Mochas, I remember me and my buddy Jacob, they were dropping, and we tried to go for them. We both took L's on the, I don't know if he took an L. I think he did. Either way, I know I for sure did, which the sneakers app, I don't even know why I have that account still. I think I've won 2 sneakers out of the past 10 years or however long the sneakers app has been alive. Just maybe 2 out of the 10 years. But the Jordan 1 Mochas, me and Jacob went for them. We did not get them. And then I brought some stuff to a local sneaker shop called The Private Shop. Shout out to the best sneaker shop in Myrtle Beach. There's no argument. This is the best sneaker shop. It's awesome. You should go there. If you go to Myrtle Beach to go to a beach where you could find somewhere else, but you like Myrtle Beach because you like to go to every putt-putt course ever, which, whole nother conversation. If you ever visit here, you need to go to The Private Shop. I'll shout out the Instagram page right here, but it's awesome. So I brought in some stuff. I traded for some Jordan 1 Mochas, but that shoe was awesome. I kind of still wish I had it because the black, brown, and white goes with literally everything. But I remember when Jacob got into this, and it was the Jordan 1 Mochas, and that shoe now he became a great sneakerhead. Good collection. But then Kobe's, the old Kobe's. Do you remember the Kobe's that went like almost all the way to your kneecap? They were like this long. Like you would lace them up and you just kept lacing. I think they're worth like crazy money now. But I remember the Kobe's that came out. Is it the Mamba Curials? Those were sweet. My favorite Kobe is the Bruce Lee. There's 2 models. I can't remember the numbers because, hey, like I said before, I'm not a sneaker historian, but I do remember the 2 models of Bruce Lee's, of Kobe's. And they had, what's the Kobe? There's a low top, but the whole top was knit. Is it the 8? I don't know. I'll throw it up here, but this is my favorite Kobe because it has the Enter the Dragon claw marks on the back. When the dude with the claw where he had no hand, but he would interchange it with him and Bruce are fighting, and he just slashes Bruce across the chest. Yeah, that's one of the best. If you've never watched Enter the Dragon by Bruce Lee, pause whatever you're doing here. Take a time out. YouTube can wait. This can wait. The Soul Reason can wait. Go. I don't even know where you'd find this. but just Google Enter the Dragon Bruce Lee and watch that, then come back here. But that sneaker's amazing. They just little subtle hits that I appreciate. So Kobe's is yeah, man. I I think Jordan is the GOAT, but I could see the argument with Kobe. I could just see it. I'm not necessarily agreeing with it, but I could just see it. The next is the Yeezy 350 Turtle Doves, which this sneaker's awesome. This is one. This sneaker does not age well, though. The original, not the re-release that happened last year or the year before with the new bottom and everything like that. The OG one, because it was the first 350, like the, I guess it's rubber on the side, like the little divots on the 350, they do not age well. They get like really hard and like almost like not squishy, and then it starts to separate with the knit. That's been my experience. I don't know about yours, but the Yeezy 350 Turtle Doves, that's a classic sneaker. It is like it's the Yeezy Jordan 1. I guess the Nike Yeezy would be the Jordan 1, I guess, but he didn't really, we're not counting it. This one is the Yeezy 350 Turtle Doves or the Pirate Blacks. Those are like the Yeezy ones as to Jordan 1s, I would say. Next, this is my favorite pair on the entire list, is the Nike SB Zoom Tray. Do you remember these? This is before Nike SB is what Nike SB is now. Like the people who wear Nike SB, Dunks, whatever, they can't name one Nike SB skateboarder who is sponsored by them. It's just sad. Kind of sad. Like I get it because you like sneakers, but I also like the background knowledge of something. If you're really into it, you should know. But the Nike SB Tray Zoom, I remember my brother Chris had the sweetest pair of them. They were like the Brazil colors. It was like the blue, like a royal blue, and it had the yellow stripe in it. The top of the sneaker was like this hard, grippy, like spikes almost all over the shell. So when you did ollies or kick flips or whatever, skateboard tricks, the grip tape, like it would hold up longer than your typical Dunk this shoe. And the laces were hidden, like inside the tongue. Because a lot of times when you skateboard, you would just pop your shoelace. Like the grip tape would just, a day of skating at Kona Skate Park, shout out Jacksonville, the shoelaces would be destroyed, and then you'd have to like tie it on one side. Yeah, but these had like a covering over the shoelaces. And then my other brother Jacob, he had the like the Gator colors. He had orange and blue, which we give him a hard time because it's Gators. Because if you live in Florida, you don't root for the Gators. You root for the Seminoles. That's not just my opinion. That's just what you do. Unless you're a Gators fan, which probably can't be friends. But we can be acquaintances, but not friends. So, but the Nike SB Zoom Trays, I remember going to Kona Skate Park and a place in Orange Park, Florida called Board City. And they would have they were the first big like Nike SB accounts that were local. And we would just save up money and go there. And I'll never forget, Chris, my brother, was the one that always skated the Nike SB Zoom Trays, which I'll throw a couple up on the screen. But these, they didn't retro these. They haven't like made a re-release of these. So if you get a pair, 9 times out of 10 you can't wear them. But I wish I had a pair of these. This is a grail for me, like a wearable pair. They do have a safari type one, which is like earth tone colors, but it has the elephant print in the back with the orange. This pair is sweet. They have the Marty McFly one, which is kind of like this gray blue, almost like the oh shoot. What's the crazy sneaker that lights up? I could kick myself. What a fake sneakerhead, right? To not know the most expensive shoe. What is that? Oh, Nike Mag. That's it. I got it. Don't judge me. You already jumped to conclusions. The Nike Mag, but it was like before the Nike Mag came out, they did the Marty McFly, and it had the same colorway before they spent $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000. I don't know how much they are right now, but and the last one, this is an interesting gateway sneaker. But what I realized is the Nike Blazer is a very affordable shoe, but it's like a kind of stylish shoe, right? I think it's the Nike SB, or not Nike SB, Nike Blazer 1970 something or 84 or whatever. It's got the numbers. They're like all white and they have the black check. This is like if you go to church, every worship leader or worship team member had these pair like 2 or 3 years ago. But not to hate, that's just what it was. This is a great gateway sneaker because it had the cool like the leather piece up by the toe box. For I don't know. I guess Nike SB did have some cool blazers that you could skate. The Tiffany blazers were sweet. But this blazer, this was a popular one to get people into there. Like, oh, this is a great high top sneaker for under $100. What else is out there? Because it was stylish. It was kind of hype beasty a little bit. But then you go, what's the other best high top sneakers? And obviously the Jordan 1 gets introduced right there because it's kind of like a narrow high top sneaker. Definitely not affordable, but great gateway sneakers. So then I asked my follow-up question to you guys was, what was your biggest sneaker influence growing up? And some of you put family friends, celebrities, basketball players, but here's a couple. I said before, my dad and my cousin Crystal were the OG sneakerheads in my life, and they always collected sneakers. Someone put East Bay, which RIP. Did you guys know this? That East Bay is like going out of business. I remember getting the East Bay they had a magazine that they would just mail out, which I don't even know how you subscribe to get East Bay magazine, but I used to love when we get the East Bay magazines. I would circle them. You get the Sharpie and circle, oh, this shoe is sweet. And, you go through. Yeah. I need to find an old 90s East Bay catalog and put it up on the backdrop because that would be sweet. This one's interesting. The Perfect Pair, which I remember watching, I believe it was Cool Kicks. They used to do with this guy named George, this black dude, would just go to not random, but like these crazy sneakerhead closets, and he would interview the guys and they would show their closets, that whole thing. But he went to the Perfect Pair. It's on YouTube somewhere. You got to find it. I think it's Cool Kicks. Yeah. And they go to the Perfect Pair, and that dude, which when you get past a certain point of sneakers to where you have to have your own room for sneakers, I don't know what you do. Like, I have so many other questions about your life that are unrelated to sneakers that I have. No, I don't want to talk to you about your sneakers. Tell me about your life. But the Perfect Pair, you can find the Perfect Pair closet on YouTube and watch it, and it is insane. There's like PEs he has, Jordan PEs that I've never even seen before, like only in his closet. So the last one was this, and this one I had a very, very fond appreciation for. This was CCS Skateboard Magazine. We would get, and they were like this big, right? Which for size context, you're watching me on a screen or a phone. It was like the size of like a little bit bigger than like a palm or a hand. A small magazine, but they would get it shipped out. You just get it in the mail, and it would be like the new signature models for all your new skateboard decks, trucks, wheels, bearings. But then in the back is when you were like, all right, this is the favorite. This was my favorite part of all the sneakers in the back. And this is where I would get this magazine around the time frame of when you had the skate shoe was like this big. It was the puffy skate shoe. It was Audio, which I think they still make shoes. It was Emerica. Oh, what were other ones? Do you know what Nike SB was before it was Nike SB, before they made Nike skateboarding? Pop quiz. Savier. Yeah. Did you know that? Look it up. I think it's Savier. Skate company before they transitioned to Nike SB. I think my history is correct on that. What other ones? Etnies. Do you remember Etnies? Or DC, the classic ones? There are some other ones out there, I'm sure. But, dude, Osiris's. Dude, Osiris D3s were the most ridiculous shoe. But I think it might have been I say this a lot. It might be the most comfortable shoe I've ever put my foot in. They were so expensive, but so cool. It was like this. It's like you're putting your foot in like a bedtime puffy slipper. Like those obnoxious ones with like, it's usually like Homer Simpson's head and you like put your foot in it. It's like your slipper, like kind of like it was that big. But they had the cool big O's on the side that you put your laces through. I had a yellow and white pair growing up. But anyway, CCS magazine, you'd look through all of those and they were just so many cool brands. So many cool brands. But there was a CCS store in Orlando at this big, like the popular mall there at the time. It was called the Florida Mall. And in early 2000s, we would go there, and this was the place we had to go. We have to go to CCS. And it was a wall of just all these skate shoes. There's some other skateboard shops, like Poser skateboard shops out there. I don't want to name names or anything. But this was like the OG mainstream skateboard shop that had all the cool shoes, CCS. So thank you guys for answering. Thank you for being active on the social medias. So if you're not following us on Instagram, go to the Sole Reason Podcast. Follow that. Thank you for engaging on the stories. You help make the show better by your engagements, because these are all y'all's answers. So I appreciate it. Next, we're going into probably one of my favorite segments, What We Eatin'. The cooks are in the kitchen at Nike and Adidas and Asics and New Balance and Merrill and Solomon. Am I missing any? I'm sure I am. I'm looking at my sneaker wall over there. I'm trying to see if I got everyone. But the cooks are in the kitchen, so what we eating? This is a segment where we go through upcoming releases or just released sneakers, and I would love for you to know. I want to know from you, what sneakers are you eating up? What are you ordering? What's on the menu? What's coming up? And what are some sneakers that you're interested in? Let us know in the comments of, what are you eating? Are you eating these sneakers? And last episode we had some hitters on there. There was a lot we were ordering. I saw in person, what was the last off-white sneaker? The Terra something or another, the crazy boot looking thing. I saw that in person. I picked it up. It was a size 11. That was as heavy as a dumbbell, that sneaker. And it is just as hideous as the picture. So if you order that or try to go for that online, I'm so sorry. I'm positive there's no resell. You have to pay people to take that sneaker from you. So on this segment of What We Eatin', we got a couple of good ones. First up is one that I'm going to try my absolute hardest to get, is the Nike SB Dunk Low Born. It's not and raised because there's an X there, but Born X raised, however you say it, but Born and Raised collab. This sneaker is the epitome of a good, even collab. It's letting the creators, I know exactly how the creation of the shoe actually happened. I don't, but it's letting the creators take full creative freedom of colorway, additional branding on it, little subtle hits that you might not know, but if you know the brand, you know these little clues that they put here and there. The blue and the gray is it's perfect. I forget what it says on the toe, but you'll see it up here in the toe box. The special embroidery on the toe, the tab, the tongue, the Nike SB Born X raised on the tongue of the shoe. That's my favorite part. is the little subtle, but the font's perfect. It's their logo. This is a shoe that I'm most definitely going to try to hit wherever it drops. If it's a sneaker app, if it's their website. I always have good luck going on Wish, which is an incredible sneaker store in Atlanta. But I always do good on that. But try your luck. If you get a size 10, hit your brother up. I need the sneaker. I'm definitely eating this one up. Next one is the Air Jordan 1 Low Concord. We already talked about how I feel about getting famous silhouettes of other Jordans and throwing them on another model. And I can't do it. I know I'm a hypocrite because I like the Bread 11 and I like obviously the Bread any Jordan. But when the Concord is so like iconically like it's just its own thing, and then you try to put it on the most popular Jordan 1, and it's a low, and then you put the, what are we doing? I feel like Jordan's reaching a lot. I don't know if you feel like that way, but I feel like Jordan Brand is like, well, he doesn't play anymore, so what do we do? They just mix and match a bunch of just, yeah, not ordering this thing. I don't know what this is, but if you like it, hats off to you, man. This is I almost said it's a great sneaker, but that would be lying, and I'm not going to lie to you guys. This is not a good sneaker. I don't like it. The Air Jordan 1 Low Concord. Could it be just my observation? But I think the Jordan 1s, the quality of Jordan 1s are so below the Jordan 1 regular. The Jordan 1s, like the high. The quality on the Jordan 1s are just, everyone that I've touched, some of them look cool. I don't own a pair because I think they'll look ridiculously goofy on my foot. It looked like a bowling shoe on my foot. I do not own a pair of these, but everyone that I've held in my hand, a Jordan 1, the quality of this sucker, they look cool on certain people, just not me. But the quality, the QC on that is just, bleh. Next sneaker. This one, probably more than the Nike, the SB Dunk, the Born Raised one. Nike Cortez Clot Collab. This shoe speaks to my childhood, speaks to my upbringing. This shoe is a 2-in-1 shoe, but it's based off like the martial arts like slipper, which we've already talked about my love for Bruce Lee and the Kobe's. This shoe hits everything and more. This is like the Kendrick Lamar upgraded, like the Cortez collab that he had, like the house slipper where it had no like laces, so you just slide your foot in, which were awesome. But this shoe right here, I am a huge fan of Clot's collabs that they do with Nike. I think their Asian influence is awesome. But this shoe, dude, you could put you put the shoe in. You put the slipper and then you put it inside you have to have it. Whether you're Asian or not, this is the sneaker of the year. Did I say that? This is a sneaker of the year for Josh Dela Cruz. Now, maybe not you. Maybe you're like, I actually hate martial arts. There was a kid in elementary school and he sidekicked me in the face, and I hate martial arts. Maybe that's you. I'm so sorry about your childhood trauma if that you got sidekicked by someone who watched way too many karate movies. But, dude, I watched every Karate Kid. And I don't mean, yes, Karate Kid, but every Karate Kid movie growing up. I'm talking about Karate Kid. I'm talking about Three Ninjas. I'm talking about even the weird one with Hulk Hogan. What else? Dude, the best movie, my favorite movie, top 5 for sure, is Surf Ninjas. This is one of those movies, you know, in the reel where you go, say a movie that no one's ever heard of. Like, this is the one. Me and my brothers would watch this one all the time. All the time. Surf Ninjas. Dude, what a freaking good movie. Also, pause it again. Pause this and go find Surf Ninjas and watch that movie. It's got young Rob Schneider in it. It's so good. It's got like the 90s like bro pizza guys in it, mixed with surfer dudes, and mixed with martial arts, which last time I checked, those are the three best things in the entire world. So watch Surf Ninjas. Yeah. Yeah, there's so many good ones that I can't even think of right now, but anything kids martial arts growing up in the 90s, like I was all about that. Three Ninjas were great because it was like three brothers. Me and my two brothers, we were the three ninjas. I don't know. You kind of think of stuff like that as a kid, but this Nike Cortez Clot is something I need. So if you can't hit the Born and Raised for me, hit these for me. Size 10. I appreciate it in advance. I'm eating this one up. The next one is the ALD New Balance Rainier. Dude, call me just an old dad. I'm into boots. Now, let me clarify. I don't mean slip-on boots, yeehaw, square toe, point toe, any kind of weird toe. And that's not, I don't mean any shade to my yeehaw brothers out there. I have plenty of awesome, incredible people in my life that choose cowboy boots as an everyday footwear, and I don't understand it, but they do. Maybe they're onto something. But you're not going to catch homeboy in some cowboy boots. But boots like hiking boots, lace-up boots, like techie boots, techie boots. The Nike ACG Antarctics, these are my favorite boots. These are the best boots. Anytime I go hiking, these boots have hit the Appalachian Trail. They've hit many trails in Asheville. They've hit trails in Virginia. So many trails. This shoe is amazing. And it laces up like you're about to go like into some real stuff. But this ALD collab with New Balance, these Rainiers, I think that's how you say it. These are awesome. Some brown, subtle hits. I love the collab that ALD does because they don't just paint the shoe to where it's like an unrecognizable, like good model of a shoe. It's like subtle. They like their earth tones. They like the greens. They like the tans. They like the weird off yellows. They like the browns. And this boot is awesome. I don't know what the retail is on this, but this is a shoe that I wouldn't go nuts over, but I wouldn't mind in my collection, if that makes sense. So I am eating this up. This is more of an appetizer eat than a full meal. I'm all in eat, but I respect it. And the last one is this. The last one is the Air Jordan 4 Messy Room. I don't know what 4-year-old they let in the Jordan creative room. And maybe they thought it was cute because we'll just call it messy room, like a 4-year-old's room. This sneaker sucks. I'm sorry. Sorry for saying the S word. This shoe sucks. This is horrible. This is not even good. There's Jordan 4s out there, and maybe it's the whole 4 craze. They're like, 4s are in, just like 1s were 2 years ago. Flood the market. I don't even understand the messy room concept. Maybe because it's childish looking. It'd be cool for a kid. These are cool sneakers for a kid. Let me just say that. I'm not ordering these for myself. These are cool sneakers for a kid. End of story. Get them for your 5-year-old. These would be cool if I had them for my daughter. She is actually 5. But for a grown behind man to wear these, here's what you wear with these. You wear gray, dirty sweatpants. Nah, maybe I shouldn't do this. I'm just going to profile someone and be like, dude, that was my outfit last week. I don't want to do that to you because I love you. I'm trying to be kind. So that's it for What We Eatin' segment. So what was I going to say? I was going to talk to you about something. Man, thank you guys for watching the first video. Our channel has, I think, 17 or 18 subscribers. The first video has 69. Sorry for making it like just an immature 69 views. Like that is way more than anything would ever. I don't even have 69 friends. Like so whoever you are, I appreciate you for watching and tuning in. Thank you guys so much. Go to the Sole Reason podcast on YouTube and Instagram and like it, subscribe to it on YouTube, follow it on Instagram, and check this out. So if you go on Instagram, there's a link tree there. Hit the link tree. You see there's a YouTube channel link. What is this other link to Amazon? That's the Sole Reason wish list. These are all things that I wish I had behind my head right now, and you can help me. You can help support this show by buying these things. I think they'll ship it straight to where I live. Bro, bless a brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, get one of the. I need the cost book. I think it's like $50. That's kind of steep. But yo, bless a brother. You can support the show on Cash App or Venmo. That's right. I'm doing this right now. These things are expensive. There's stuff I don't even have that I need to get. Support the show. You can go to Cash App or Venmo at Original Josh D. Put a note in there who it's from. I'll shout you out on the show. And if you want to buy, here it is. If you want to buy me my next energy drink to be featured on Sip of the Day, Cash App me money to buy an energy drink. Tell me which one to get. I'll find it on a gas station. I'll get it, and it'll be on the next show. Support a brother at these right here. Cash App, Venmo, Original Josh D. Yeah, show me some love because I love you all. And let's make this backdrop crazy. So I was talking, my wife was like, you're just gonna put too much stuff and it's gonna look cluttered. And I'm like, dude, that's just my I was gonna say that's just my life. Declutter your life, it'll help. But I like having a bunch of cool things up there. So there's some friends that have blessed me with some cool things back here. Dude, check this out. This reminds me. My buddy Micah blessed me with this. It is a thumb wrestling NWO WCW thumb wrestling ring with Goldberg and Kevin Nash. And you thumb wrestle right here and you pin them. And I think batteries are dead. Of course they are. But I just think this is the sweet, like stuff like this. I'll pick it up later. But support the show. Thank you for your support. And every other Wednesday, we drop an episode on the YouTubes. So I love you guys. Quick reminder, this is how I try to live my life, is to slow down. And there's so many things that you don't want to miss that are right in front of you. So slow down. Slow. I'm reading this book called The Life You've Always Wanted. There's a chapter in this book where it's the practice of slowing. And it kind of talks about this idea of an unhurried life, to ruthlessly eliminate hurry from your life. But Josh, I got too many things to do. Hey, guess what? That means you are choosing to do too many things. And so slowing down, practice slowing. One of the challenges in the chapter is intentionally find the slow lane and drive behind someone who drives slow. And I was like, what are you saying? That might seem impossible to you, but an unhurried life is one that is truly blessed. So slow down and be kind. There's a lot of people going through some crap. The same crap that you've experienced in your life, chances are someone else has gone through that, is going through it, or is about to go through it. So be kind to people, especially your drive-through people. Have conversations with drive-through people. We were going through Taco Bell a couple days ago, which that's not a weird sentence for me to say. Maybe it is for you because you eat salad, chicken, and rice. Good for you. I do not. I frequent Taco Bell probably more than what is I'd like to admit, but Taco Bell's the best place in the entire world. So we're going through there. Funny fact, I was meeting a guy. I met a guy randomly at church. He's a nutritionist guy, just yoked out of his mind. And he told me the most nutritional fast food is Taco Bell. Now, I don't know if he was full of it because I expressed my love for Taco Bell, but gosh darn it, I'm going to believe him. So I was going through Taco Bell drive-thru, and one of my friends, Darren, he goes, dude, you got to try nacho fries. Now, you go through Taco Bell, there's other things you need to order. You got to clean out the value menu, which you just go there, be super hungry, and order one of each thing on the value menu. Don't order the expensive stuff, and it'll bless your life and your bathroom. But I go through there. I asked the lady, hey, how are the nacho fries? And she answered, welcome to Taco Bell. What can I get you? And I ordered what I always order, number 6 with a Baja Blast. And I know what you're thinking, Josh, you said that too quick. Like I said, once a week probably. Twice if I'm lucky or unlucky, however you look at it. But then I asked her, I was like, hey, how do you like the nacho fries? And she goes, oh my God, they're so good. And you could paint the picture of what she looked like, but she was a sweetheart and she was incredible. She goes, man, they're so good. You got to get some of them. I said, really? She goes, I'm telling you, I snack on them. And when she said, I snack on them, I said, she works here. You don't snack on bad food, especially if you work at the restaurant. You snack on the good stuff. I said, all right, give me one of those with some cheese dip. And when I pulled up to the main window, the joy in this woman's heart and face that I experienced was, she was so stoked for me to experience nacho fries. And all it took was me slowing down and being kind to someone I'll probably never see again. So slow down, be kind, like and follow, support the show. We already talked about it. I love you guys. And this has been The Sole Reason, episode 2. Catch you later.